what was your reaction to the Cooper Kupp news?
It was something I didn't expect. Cooper Kupp had reached out to our receiver room and kind of had announced the room to us before it had gone public.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a teaching tutorial Thursday, presented, of course, by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. A reminder, we are officially in off-season mode, which means we have 3 Ross Tucker Football Podcasts per week here in the quote-unquote off-season. Typically, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when we release those. Not always, but typically Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If some of you guys somehow missed it, we had Greg Cosell on yesterday's Ross Tucker Football Podcast, the Wisdom Wednesday, because I wanted to get his thoughts on the Super Bowl as soon as possible. How about the guests we have today? Puka Nacua and Keegan Michael Key, which is awesome. I think a lot of you understand this, or maybe you saw the pictures on social media, whether it's at Ross Tucker NFL or at Ross Tucker Pod. But we had the opportunity to talk to a lot of cool people, big name guests and star players and all that stuff at the Super Bowl. So we take advantage of it. And then the ones that we think are most relevant, most interesting, we try to post those as soon as possible. And so obviously I asked Puka his thoughts on the Rams season and Cooper Kupp being available via trade. So we'll get to that. And Keegan Michael Key is just hilarious and a guy I've been a fan of for a while. Multiple reasons. His starting lineup thing, I don't know what it's called, but then also his James Franklin impressions really cracked me up as well. I did remember, by the way, to pick some winners this week, which is awesome. Those of you that go the extra mile, whether you're spreading the word via social media or taking advantage of our sponsors or just making a comment on YouTube, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. So I'll get to that a little bit later. Believe it or not, I never even told you what I thought about NFL honors. So I got to get to that. And then there are some other news items going on around the NFL as well. But let's start with the conversation with Puka, and then we'll go to Keegan Michael Key. I think I've said it on this show before. I am a big Puka Nacua guy because of his physicality. Puka's presented by Labatt Blue Light. I will be drinking a bunch of Labatt Blue Lights this weekend. It is officially ski season. Drink Labatt Blue Lights with your friends. Live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
The Big Show.
Love being joined by Puka Nacua, star receiver for the LA Rams. And you know why I love it? Not because he catches a ton of passes, but because I'm a former offensive lineman, and you block your ass off, bro. I notice it. That is real. Like
I appreciate it.
I was on sideline for your playoff game against the Lions last year, okay? They have you inserting and leading on linebackers. Like, dude, you're an animal.
I try, man. I feel like there's a certain physicality required in this game, and man, I feel like I try to bring it every play.
What do you weigh?
I'm around 210, 215.
Wow. So you got no problem with when McVay says, okay, we're going to bring you in motion, and then you're going to lead up on the linebacker. You said, like, let's do it?
You got to have no fear. You got to have no fear when you go out there, play full speed, and whatever happens, happens.
but like, you more than held your own.
I try. I mean, I try
Seriously,
to stay right there.
So sometimes I think, do you think you benefit maybe a little bit from they don't know it's coming?
Like they're not taking. It's not like you're a fullback and it's like a 5-yard running. You're in motion and then you go and they're like, oh, and then they come attack you.
Yeah, I think especially like just it's not very common for some of the receivers. I mean, especially in our Rams offense, we do have the receivers block a lot, but just for them to get used to be like, oh, he's coming to actually block me. And I think whether it's the guy I'm actually supposed to block or me just being like, oh, the safety's not trying to fit the run game, and I'm right here next to this guy, and I'm not about to pass color, so I'm like, oh, I'm about to hit this guy. So that's kind of how it ends up working out.
Tell me about the playoff game in Philly in the snow. Had you ever played in anything like that before?
In my junior year of high school in the state championship game, we had played in like a kind of snow blizzardy type thing in Utah.
Okay.
But that was
that's
probably,
right. You are from Utah.
That was probably the last time, and there was nothing like having like that much snow on the field. Like I know like the last couple of series, like I could run and like I was trying to like knock the clump of snow that was stuck to my cleat because I was like, I was like, yo, I know my feet. Like I'm trying to, you wear the 7 studs and you're trying to like be as precise as you can. But I'm like, holy cow, like my foot feels like it's just straight ice on the bottom. But it was one of the weirder experiences to have to go through. But man, you just feel like, yeah, we're still one play away.
I could tell when you were trying to like some of your routes. Like I know what your routes look like, but I could tell it's just impossible. You couldn't snap it off like that. But the DB couldn't really either.
Yeah.
So what was the coaching point? Like did you throttle down a little bit coming out of your breaks or?
Not necessarily. You just still try to find because you want to keep the same timing, and you just never know what the pass rush is going to look like in some of those situations. Right. So you're just thinking that, man, we just try to keep the normal rhythm and timing, and then go make the play when it's there. And just wasn't able to come down with some of them. Yeah,
but you also made some incredible plays in that game.
It was such an intro. It was tough. I mean, I feel like I left some plays out there, and what a difference some of those plays can make. And man, just want to make sure that when the opportunity arises again, I'll be ready.
So you guys had by far the closest playoff game against the Eagles, right? They beat the Packers by 12. They blew out the Commanders. Is that encouraging for you going into next year that, like, listen, man, we were one play away from beating the Eagles in their place. Like, we can do this.
Yeah, I think 100%. It's super exciting. We got a great young core and who've been playing really well, who've got a lot of snaps underneath their belts, and it's exciting to go back into this offseason and be like, man, we're going to rebuild to be right where we want to be, and to maintain that throughout the season. We kind of had some ups and downs, but to be able to be consistent throughout the whole season and prepared to win every game on Sunday and to carry that out and to be built to play 21 games or 23 games, however many it takes to get to the Super Bowl.
What was your reaction to the Cooper Kupp news?
It was something I didn't expect. Cooper Kupp had reached out to our receiver room and kind of had announced the room to us before it had gone public. But I just think of all the times that I got to spend with Cooper and how much that meant to me and how much he's meant to me and been a guidance to me in my career, and be able to just compete against him, and then also to learn everything that he's been willing to give me, and then to be in those meetings with him and Matthew as some people who understand this offense and understand each other and how to win football games and communicate with each other at a high level. So I feel like I'm super blessed to be able to be around him and still have a relationship with him. And we're gonna run routes together this offseason. I know for sure we're gonna play basketball. So I hope everything works out for Cooper, and I know the team that gets to have Cooper Kupp will be lucky.
When you say compete against him, what are you referring to?
I think I've just like in the weight room we lift next to each other, and he lifts heavy. I want to lift heavy too. So
does he lift heavy?
Yeah, he does. I mean,
and what does he weigh?
He's probably about the same, or in the 210 to 215
So you guys
range.
are similar body types.
Yeah, pretty close to it. Yeah. And so it's super fun just to be. I mean, we play basketball against each other when we had a basketball hoop. So it's just fun to just compete against him and running routes and trying to watch. I mean, there's nothing you can't replicate exactly how somebody moves, but trying to understand there's basic wide receiver technique and fundamentals that you can use when running routes, and he executes all of those while he's playing the game of football. So trying to implement those into my game.
Is there anything you take away from the organization looking to trade him that you'll think about later on in your career? I mean, here's the guy who was Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl MVP, but at this point, the organization's making the business decision to move on from him. Does that make you think of anything about your, I guess, football mortality, or that, you're not necessarily going to be with the Rams forever?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not sure. I definitely haven't thought about it that too far in the future. I try to feel like some of those things are definitely out of my control. What I can control is to go out here and, man, I love playing this game of football, and I want to continue to play at a high level and do the things that it takes to stay at a high level. So I'm going to keep playing football, trying to go do my job and catch as many of these footballs as I can, have a smile on my face while I do it, because it's what I love to do.
It seems like your GM, Les Snead and McVay, they've done a good job of getting guys that love football. Like I can tell, Fisk and the DN, I can tell, like those guys really love it. Like they get after it.
We got some young guys, and I think they do a good job of finding people who enjoy the process of learning more about the game and what every intricate part of the game. So it's super exciting.
So I think last year you might have been repping Pepsi too, right? Is this 2 years in a row?
100%. I'm a Team Pepsi guy. I love my wild cherry Pepsis.
Is that what you like?
I do like that one. Yep.
Wild cherry.
Yep.
Do you eat pretty clean?
For the most, I eat a lot of red meat. I don't have too much. I don't really eat chicken. I have some fish, but I eat red meat.
You eat a lot of red meat?
Yeah, pretty much every day of the week. So
okay. In what form usually? Like burgers?
Yeah, burgers, steak, ground beef. I've had bison and stuff like that. I'm not super big fan, but I keep I have a couple meals that I keep in rotation that I enjoy just eating that red meat.
All right, so you go bowling? What's this about?
Yeah, so I'm doing a bowling event with GoBowling.com and Pepsi. We're going bowling tomorrow with some other NFL players, and if you go to their website GoBowling.com, you can get a free coupon for a free game of bowling. And but we got an event tomorrow. I'm gonna be out there. You can catch me bowling out there. I think I'm pretty good at bowling. I used to bowl a lot in high school and in college, so I got my own bowling ball, my own Los Angeles Rams bowling ball. I got it shipped out here today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So it'll be fun, and Pat McAfee just challenged me to a 175, and I'm like, that's easy work. I would say I average about 200. So
what?
I don't.
You're
I try
that
not
good?
To, yeah, 200s. I mean, 300s a perfect game. So it's like, but I think I can bowl pretty good. Yeah.
200 is pretty good. Tell me about those sunglasses, bro. Or those glasses. They're the ones with the video and pictures, right?
The Meta sunglasses. They're pretty cool. The AI, they have like a camera, and their AI, and they're super sweet. They connect to like your Instagram and stuff like that. And
all right,
so play music. But.
So when I'm asking you questions, is this what you really think, or is this what the AI is telling you?
No, I wish. There's no Tony Stark stuff in here, but I wish that would be pretty cool.
Puka, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really meant what I said. There's a lot of receivers out there that catch a lot of balls, but just know that it's not just your teammates, like other guys around the league or former players. Like we notice how physical you are, how you play. I wish every receiver was like you. I don't know why so many of them aren't, but it's really fun to watch you play, dude.
I appreciate that much.
Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
All right, so I love this guy, and I'll tell you why. I live in central Pennsylvania in like the Harrisburg, Hershey area. He does the most incredible impression of Penn State's head coach to the point where James Franklin, Franklin told me he got all kinds of texts and people thought it was really him. I can't remember if it was a college game day or whatever.
It was college game day, and they had an away game, and they were playing in Iowa. I was in Times Square doing college game day. I'm dressed as Franklin. I got the glasses on. I got the whistle, and I'm doing the entire thing. And during the entire interview, I apparently find out later that these guys are getting texts, and they're saying, "Why is Coach Franklin not in Iowa where they're playing the game right now? Why is he not there?" People thought he was in New York while his entire staff and team were in Ames.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. Crazy.
I absolutely love it. Got a chance to meet you for the first time Wednesday night at the New Heights party.
Yes, that was a pleasure,
party.
Ross, yeah.
If you can't tell, I did have over 20 garage beers that night, and so my voice is still a little bit dicey from that. Got a chance to meet Keegan.
I'm enjoying the texture.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Yeah. You know what? I now know why Kelsey has a raspy voice all the time.
Yeah.
It's like garage beer voice. It's like that
It's
must
garage
happen
beer.
when you do it. All right, but you got something going with Jim Beam.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So Jim Beam and I have partnered up to do this really fun campaign this season.
Okay.
And it's actually in honor of two things. It's in honor of the playoffs.
Okay.
The NFL playoffs, but it's also in honor of Jim Beam Black, which
Okay.
is this new Jim Beam product. It's their aged bourbon, so it's aged 7
Okay.
years. So what we've done is we've created this thing called the 7 Stages of Defeat care package.
Okay.
So after every round of the playoffs, what we've done is whoever is the losing team, all of their fans and the players if they want, you can go online at Jim Beam and you can request one of these care packages, and in the care packages it's here to help you navigate the 7 stages of defeat, like shock, denial, anger, bargaining. And there are gifts in this. I'll show you here. There's gifts in here, and each one corresponds to one of the 7 stages. So like one of my favorites is stage 3 is anger. So there's a chocolate football in here and a mallet.
Nice.
And you can smash the football and get your anger out after the loss. And then the next one is bargaining. And in bargaining, there's this little bobblehead referee, so you can yell at him and ask him to take back the flag that affected the game. And then what's this one's great? Stage 7, which is acceptance.
Yeah. The last stage.
Yeah, is the last stage. Always the last stage is acceptance. This is something called no need to be bitters. And so this is one of the ingredients to a cocktail that we call Get 'em Next Year cocktail. And you make the cocktail with Jim Beam Black and ginger ale and these bitters. And so if you go online and request this, they'll send one in the mail. It's first come, first serve. So whoever gets them, gets them. When they run out, they run out. So they did it for the divisional round. They did it for the conference round. And then there'll be another round of these given out after the Super Bowl.
This is incredible, and this would also be like an amazing, for next year potentially, whatever,
Yeah.
an amazing like Christmas party gift.
Absolutely.
Like you go to somebody's house,
Yeah.
you don't know what to get them. Their team's in the playoffs. You get them this, or even like, did you open one of these up when Penn State lost Notre Dame?
I got a couple of these.
That was tough, bro.
I thought we're marching, we're doing okay, and but it's always, at least you can go to the bargaining stage if it's 4th down. You can go, we still have a shot. An interception's always the worst. It's always the worst.
It was so stunning.
So stunning. It killed me.
I'm with my daughters, my wife.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, my father-in-law.
Yeah. Oh.
Because in Central PA, like that's Penn State
it's
is
religion.
the team.
It is the team.
It's the team.
And then for my Nittany Lions to lose, and then for my Lions to lose,
Oh.
it was just like I have a whole bunch of these at home.
So
I've had to go through it twice.
tell me about your football fandom. Like, did you play growing up, or why is because I always see you around the sport.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the sport. I think I did not play when I was a kid.
Yep.
And I didn't play in high school. What's interesting is I grew up one house down from a family, a very athletic family. Their father was a football coach.
Okay.
So his kids and I they had equipment all over the house. We'd put on pads and helmets and knee pads, and there was a field at the end of our block. I played football every day of my life at the end of my block in pads with my friends.
In pads?
We had pads because he had all these uniforms and pads, and we'd put the pads on and we'd play. And I just became a fan of not only the sport, but the stories behind the players, and also I love the strategy of football.
Yeah.
And it's just like chess on speed. It's, you know what I mean? It's like we got to set this up and do this. And that's where it's just a real actual love from not experiencing the sport so much as experiencing it as a fan, but being surrounded by football players. I don't know. There's something also about what I do for a living, and what it's performance based. And
Yeah.
so is athletics.
Yeah.
Football is performance based. I think it's one of the greatest pieces of drama in the world, because every time a problem is presented, you have to figure out a way to solve it.
Yeah.
That is the basis of theater. It's the basis of storytelling. It's some of the best storytelling in the world is football.
I always say it's like the ultimate reality show.
It's the ultimate, yes.
Because things that happen in a game, you're like, there's no way. And one example, unfortunately for you, nobody would have predicted the Commanders beating the Lions
Never.
like that. Nobody.
Nobody.
No chance.
It was not going.
If they played 100 times, I feel like the Lions would have won that. But that's not what happened in that game.
No, and that's the primal appeal of American football is that you just go, anything can happen. It's funny, you expect that in college football because some guys aren't as prepared, or some guys just don't have the maturity yet. They're mostly mature in the NFL. Like, it was a foregone conclusion that we were going to go to that we were going to go to NFC Championship game.
I know.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's fun to watch you either Wednesday night or here, like see Luke Kuechly. It's fun. It's always fun when someone is a very, well-known, popular guy in a different industry, but you love meeting these guys. You love like Luke Kuechly, that guy, I mean, that's how you draw it up as a linebacker. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The best. He's the prototype. He's like he is the prototype. And I feel so lucky to be a part of an industry where I get this kind of access.
Yeah.
Because this is what my passion is.
Right.
This is my work is my passion.
Yeah,
I love
of course,
my work.
I know.
But this is my passion. This is my hobby. And I just enjoy the storylines. I hate to make it branding, but I enjoy the product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the last thing.
Yeah.
You say, I forget what it's called when you do the starting lineup thing.
Yes, East-West Bowl.
Okay, East-West Bowl. Is there just one iteration of that, or have you done that more than once?
There's 3. So
Okay.
we did the first one that everybody knows. We made a second one, and then we did a Super Bowl special about 12 or 13 years ago. We did a Super Bowl special.
Okay.
And we had us in it and actual players in it.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I've
yeah.
only ever seen the one,
Yeah, you
which
should-
is
yeah.
just like unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, the hair, the
Yes, the
delivery
face.
is so good. It's incredible. Keegan, thank you so much for coming on the show,
Ross,
man.
my
Really
pleasure,
appreciate
man.
it.
So good to be here. Really good to be here.
Was talking with you guys about Smirnoff all season as the official sponsor of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast and an official vodka partner of the NFL and Super Bowl 59. I love that at Smirnoff you can get the world's #1 vodka without breaking the bank. I call that Smirnoff Extraordinary. I don't call it that. They call it that, but I go with it because I think it's actually funny in that commercial. They still got those drops with the Smirnoff Extraordinary items, SmirnoffDrops.com. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer and may vary by state. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. Smirnoff, we do game days. All right, so now that I know football season's over, it's time for me to get in better shape. And I'm guessing a lot of you want to get in better shape as well. Whether it's a New Year's resolution, winter fitness routine, just self-care. I know a lot of people that are in the AG1 business right now, which is an absolutely awesome nutritional supplement. I love drinking AG1. The big thing for me is supporting my immune health. And AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3, K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/Ross to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/Ross to start your new year on a healthier note.
Tuck's Takes.
All right, Ross, the NFL honors, they were announced last Thursday. We didn't get to it, but now here we are. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's so funny because our recording window at the Super Bowl was 11 to 1, we kind of had to work ahead, right? So we did Friday morning show Thursday afternoon, and then Thursday night was when it was announced. Monday, we had the Super Bowl to go over. Wednesday, we had to talk about the Super Bowl with Greg. So I'm finally getting to it. MVP was Josh Allen. Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley. Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Verse. Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Burrow. Coach of the Year, Kevin O'Connell. Assistant Coach of the Year, Ben Johnson. And the Walter Payton Award, obviously, Eric Armstead, the interview for which we aired on Monday. Really, man, Luke Kuechly, Eric Armstead, so impressive. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Is it controversial, Jack, to say, I think the voters got it right? I don't really have a problem with any of those selections. I mean, that's probably who I would have picked for each. You know, by the way, it's not Jaden verse. I'm reading this off. It's Jared verse. Literally reading this off of a post somebody had on social media. That's a mistake. Jared verse. So I'm not going to call out the person because it's my fault. I should have read his post first before I just regurgitated it. I'm Ross Tucker. Jared verse, not Jaden verse. But at any rate, I don't know. Did you have a problem with any of those, Jack?
No, I think it was pretty consensus across the board. I feel like everything was sort of nailed right on the head.
I think the thing that's probably most interesting to me is that only 4 guys got into the Hall of Fame. And I'm going to make that my Labatt take of the week. It was, by the way, Antonio Gates, Jared Allen, Eric Allen, Sterling Sharp, presented by Labatt Blue Light, the pristine Canadian Pilsner. Enjoy your beers together so you can live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. Most people don't realize still that the Hall of Fame changed the voting procedure and that less guys are going to get in every year, including only 4 guys this year. I got to tell you, I have mixed emotions on this. On the one hand, I like that it's very prestigious. I like that it's hard to get in. It's supposed to be. On the other hand, there's really never a year where I look at a guy that gets in and says, he shouldn't be in there, right? Like Luke Kuechly, he should have gotten in, I thought, on the first ballot. And there's other guys that didn't get in that I think are very deserving. So honestly, I don't know what a take this is, because I don't know how I feel about it, other than I think everybody needs to know they changed how they calculate who gets into the Hall of Fame. Mike Sando talked about that on my show a couple weeks ago, and nobody else talked about it anywhere else as far as I can see.
All right, a bunch of other notes around the league I'll just rattle off for you. Former player and coach Dick Duran, he passed away at the age of 74. The Patriots, they cut Chuks Okorafor. Free agent wide receiver Kadarius Toney, he was arrested after allegedly strangling a woman. Chiefs wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins said he's going to retire, unless he's not. And former Lions head coach Matt Patricia is head to Ohio State to be their next defensive coordinator.
So many interesting things here. The Thursday before I left for the Super Bowl, Jack, I went to the Ivy League Football Association dinner. They were honoring Dick Duran. He was there, and then at some point in the night, he left before they had a chance to honor him. And then I see this news, very sad, just a wonderful, wonderful man. I don't have much to say about Okorafor. Kadarius Toney, this is not a surprise. He always had off-the-field issues. DeAndre Hopkins, we'll see what happens there. And Matt Patricia, I ran into at the Super Bowl and talked about getting him on my show. I don't know if he'll be coming on my show now if he's the Ohio State defensive coordinator. We'll have to see. Other than that, I realize now I forgot to do the winners. I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network on Samsung TV Plus, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. Huge fan of myfrontpagestory.com. Last chance for Valentine's Day. myfrontpagestory.com. Backofficescheduler.com. HumanHeadNYC.com. Sporticulture. Pizza Boy Brewing.